Sorry, I wish that was not so much of an abrupt start. Hey, welcome to Sheba Sunday. So good to see you all. Um, it's at 1:25 now. Just doing some technical, making sure everything was good for you because today we have a very special episode. A very special, the most special guest. Um, my mother, Agnes Newman. I know, the Queen Mother on Sheba Sunday. How lucky. That'll be the thing that I'm grateful for today. We're going to sage a little bit. I'm grateful that, the tech was, easy. I just had a really lovely weekend so far, and I'm really excited for this episode. I know it's going to be, really freaking good. And I've been on a roll recently, so I know that was kind of abrupt, but let's just get this show on the road. With no further ado, I would like to introduce my mother. I call her the universe because she just gives birth to stars. My mother, Agnes Newman. Hello, hello.
How are you doing, sweetie?
I'm great, Mommy. You look lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Ugh, I wore purple because I was like, I know she's going to have, I don't know what you're going to be wearing, but I know your hair is going to be purple. So, let me try to have some symmetry.
Yeah. Getting in the real Lenten spirit.
Oh, definitely. I totally knew that it was Lent right now. Did you give up anything for Lent? Oh, you heathen.
Actually,
Okay.
a misnomer about Lent is that it's always to give up things, but actually, you can also make Lent a positive thing where you do more things. So, for my Lent, I'm going to pray more, and I'm going to try to be better at staying in the moment
That's good.
and seeing others where they are right now. So I'm going to try to engage more, talk to people that I don't normally talk to or haven't talked to. I'm going to reach out to do more, um, let's say, I don't know, not
Ni-
giving up alms, but giving up alms in the spirit. I think so many people, especially at these times, it's always about self denial, but sometimes maybe it should be about self service. So for my Lent, I'm going to do more self service to others, you know, um, trying to make it more meaningful for me. And um, there's so many things that bring you down. So Lent is a time to think maybe, there are other things that maybe you can uplift others during this time. So,
Exactly.
that's what I'm doing.
I like that. I like that. It's more than, you're right. It is I don't want to say selfish, but yeah, just depriving yourself of something. Why not give
Yeah,
a generosity
yeah,
of spirit and,
exactly.
grace to people? I love that.
Oh, you're such a way with words. Exactly. I couldn't articulate it that way, but that is
Ah,
exactly what I am doing this Lent.
that's great.
Yes, so it's like when I was in church yesterday. I do lecture on Saturday night.
Hmm.
So this lady comes up to me after mass and she just hugs me. She says, "I just love how you read," and I said, "I'm really glad I could give that to you." Because so many times when lectors lecture, they simply read the words. I try to, I try to not act, but I try to infuse it with meaning. What does this mean to me? What do these words mean? You know, we say God is ever faithful. What does that mean? You know, so
Yeah.
I try to think about those things when I'm reading, and I, and obviously it seems to resonate with a lot of people.
Yeah, you're a really powerful reader. You're really the best. I know when one of my qualms, one of my many qualms about church is that sometimes it seems like people are just regurgitating this
Yeah.
book, just parroting it, just like kind of giving the slogans. But you're right, they don't put any of their own personality into it. They're not really like telling me what the words mean. And I think you have a great way of like commanding the pause and taking your time, and like really letting the words like resonate. So.
Oh, thank you. That and a funny thing happened too. All this week, this song, a verse of the song's been running through my head. You know, if today you should hear His voice, harden not your heart. And that was just running through my head. I don't know why that was.
Hmm.
And girl, don't you know that was the song we sang it? That was the refrain. I said, wow, wow.
Wow.
you
That's
know and,
cool.
and so I was reflecting on how do we not harden our hearts. And I think so many people are in there, in the Lord said Moses to Pharaoh, and Moses said, let my people go.
Mm-hmm.
And Pharaoh wouldn't, and he did plagues and did all these things. And then and Moses says, Pharaoh has hardened his heart. And I think about that. How many times do we harden our heart against people who have done us wrong or don't give us what we want, whatever that is? And, and maybe the way to get better relationships is to open our hearts, not not in a way that you get walked over or taken advantage of. That's not what I mean. But you can open your heart to a person and recognize that, hey, maybe my opening my heart is this person has their own flaws and they're in a place that doesn't fit me right now. But if they get to another place, maybe in the future, the door is open.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I will, if the relationship is abusive or if
Yeah.
there's not meeting my needs, or you can't, or the person can't, uh, uh, you know, they talk to us a lot about forgiveness, and I was reflecting on this in mass. What does forgiveness look like? What does it look like?
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just words, because I can say I forgive you, but if my heart is hardened, it's just words.
Exactly.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
words. So
Mm-hmm.
I try to be more mindful of my relationships with other people. And if I can't say that I have anybody that I have hardened my heart to people, you know, but I try to, I'm trying to think about
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. You're grappling with it at least,
exactly.
Yeah. And accepting, it seems like you're trying to, accept people where they're at as
Right.
for who they are rather than for who you want them to be,
Exactly.
and that doesn't mean though that like they can treat you however they want to treat you,
Exactly. Exactly.
but and remaining graceful while holding space for someone to be who you are is like that's powerful and difficult way to be intentional about that. You're so good at doing hard things, mama.
I don't know, Sheba. It's so hard some days, I sit there, I said, I was telling somebody, at this point in my life, I'm at the point where my filters are very thin.
Hmm.
And so you pretty much get the honest version of me because I don't really care.
Right, like what you gonna do, fire me?
Yeah, you know. Listen, when I wanted to be fired, they never would.
Absolutely.
So now they missed their chance.
Right.
I have to laugh, and say, people are always talking about, doing more things and volunteering, and you know what? I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah,
I
that's just more work.
exactly. And you know what? I spent, 40 years doing work. I'm good. I'm good. I
Right.
think it's time for other people to step up and do work.
Exactly.
And so I feel very comfortable in the space that I'm in. I'm enjoying the adulthood relationships with my children, which is really good.
Yeah.
I have to laugh when he calls me. Says, "You didn't call me when you got home." Gosh.
I know,
Oh,
it's so funny. I was talking with Zarin yesterday. Was that yesterday, Friday? Yeah. When I couldn't. I think you were under the dryer at the hair salon,
yeah.
and so like you didn't answer my calls, and so I miss your calls all the time, and I take my time calling you back. You missed my call once. I'm like, where in the hell is she? What in the hell? Like, doesn't she know I need to get in touch with her? What's going on? I feel like we have this possessiveness of your time. But you're right. It's your time. Like you have given your time to other people for decades now. You deserve to be a little bit of a mystery, to be self-directed, you know? And so it's awesome that even though this is your time, you still choose to use it having grace for others, trying to help others navigate through and stuff.
Exactly.
It's
And you
cool.
know, when people are adults, they need you to be an adult with them. And often, parent child, uh, often parents stay in a parent mode, and I want to be in adult mode.
Mm,
You
mm-hmm.
know, I I feel we're in a good place. My kids have the tools to handle their problems. They know where that I'm in. If they want an ear, they need a
Yeah.
hand. They know where I am. You know, and I was talking to Charlie. And he was talking about, oh, that's it. And this was like he. So I come in. He says, "Oh, we bought a cheesecake." Now, A, I don't want cheesecake. B, he says, so we didn't. He said I didn't buy one with fruit on it because I didn't know what you like. I said, A, I don't like cheesecake, but B, don't buy stuff for me, especially when you haven't discussed it
Yeah,
with me.
without checking.
So now there's this huge, gigantic cheesecake in the refrigerator, of which they've eaten half in 2 days, which hey,
Yeah.
but I was telling him, people often buy for you things they want for themselves. And then, you know, but if you think I'm going to feel obligated, you are sadly mistaken.
Right?
So
Yeah.
don't talk to me about how I got to work on my weight. I have to do this. And you're bringing in a 10-inch cheesecake.
Yeah. For those who don't know, my cousin Charlie and his husband are living with my mom. They just sold their house in South Carolina and they've moved up north and they're, making a life for them up here. And so in their transition period, they're living with my mom. So they are, everyone's adjusting to, a slightly new living situation. But you're so right. I think we're all taught to feel bad for giving ourselves the things that we want, and so we couch it in, oh, I got this for you.
Yes.
But it's like, I didn't ask for that. I didn't say I
Yes.
wanted that. Like, did you really get that for me? It's okay if you didn't. I think people need to, like, we need to give ourselves permission. Like, what we want is okay. you
Exactly.
know
I mean, you want. So he said,
exactly.
he says, you think you want to buy a new couch because we're going to buy a new couch? No, I don't want any more. Look, I don't want no more stuff. I'm trying to get rid of stuff in my house now. I was trying to get you to take it, but you don't want to, but that's okay.
Hey, I just got a couple bags out of there. I got some good new clothes. This sweatshirt, I got a couple new things. I have a whole new wardrobe from just the stuff I cleaned out of her house last week.
But I have to laugh because on the one hand, I have to be patient because he's coming from a situation where he's always used to people take, 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 take. And if you're used to giving, 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 you don't know how to act in any other way.
How to
And
just receive.
exactly, he's they're living with me. I don't want anything. I don't need anything. And I said, if I didn't want you to be here, guess what? You wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
That's not an issue. So and it is not a quid pro quo. It's not that I do something for you so you can do something for me.
Yeah.
It is not that. And I don't want you to live as if it is. So every time he's trying to do no,
Yeah. Don't need anything.
no, I don't need anything. And so, but that is a a learning curve for him
Yeah.
because he's not used to being around people that don't want something from him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
And it's tough to trust that. It's
yeah,
one thing when somebody hears it, but it's like our inner child wants to keep us safe, and it's like, you know what, you better take what they say with a grain of salt, because, like, who
they're not going to
knows,
stay
if
right
you
down.
take too much, you'll be out on the street again, and it's like, no, that's not what's going on here.
You know that? Then you know that song, "God Bless the Child That's Got His Own."
Mm-hmm.
It goes, "Your mama may have, your papa may have, but God bless the child uh, who's got his own." Rich relations and such give you stuff, but then they say you can take a bit, but don't take too much. And then so and these songs have such a meaning in everyday life, but people have forgotten these life lessons.
Yep.
And so it's important that you understand you can have relationships with people with they don't want anything from you
Mm-hmm.
except the pleasure of your company.
I know, your presence is the present.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And getting people who have never had that
Yeah.
to see this is a new thing. So I've been talking to them a lot about, hey, you can't undo the past, but you can't live in it either.
Exactly.
It's an albatross.
Yeah.
Get it off. Get it off.
That experience is not this experience.
Exactly.
So you have, it's a different situation, you need different tools to get through.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And you have to learn a different way of looking at life, approaching relationships with other people.
Yeah.
They got rid of that house. They're very
How fun. Like,
yeah.
I love a good clean split. Like, great. House is done, moved, not even in that like section of the country anymore. Like, great.
Mm-hmm. And so we're going through stuff. Okay, they're going through their stuff. I said, okay, look, you have to make a clean sweep. Just that stuff you collected, if it gives you joy, fine. But a lot of that stuff, you're not 10.
Yes. My cousin Charlie, like my father, collects a lot of action figures and comic books and horror stuff. My cousin's more into horror things, and um, which, is a thing that I think I inherited more from my mom. Like, I don't need to collect a whole bunch of things. Like, I'm good with like seeing a thing and like keeping it in my mind, and I'm like, oh great, I don't need it to be like physically with me all the time. But not everyone is like that. A lot of people hold their memories and this like emotional attachment in their things, and so it's harder for them to like separate the memory and the emotion from the thing. So
And I think back, Dad's collections gave him much joy. It was really, and he loved collecting. Me, not so much. Now the problem is he's gone. Now his collections are here.
yeah.
You know, and I feel burdened
Oh no.
by
Oh
them.
no, they're a weight for you.
Burdened by them because
Ah.
they
Okay.
have that for you, just not to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to just dispose of
Throw them
them.
out. Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
he always told me like the Barbie collection. He says, "This is the girls' inheritance." I said, "Okay, well we got 300-400 Barbie dolls."
You're gonna be like the Vanderbilts.
I know.
Um.
You know, I don't discount those the comic books, the
Yeah.
records,
The records, I think they will be worth a lot. I kind of want to, like get maybe some pallets, some wood pallets, and put them in my basement, and like bring all the stuff from the playroom
I'm
into.
going to. Well, Charlie's tasked with selling some of this stuff.
Oh, that's great.
So,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
what we will first of all do,
There you
and
go.
then the more valuable collections we can store to you guys decide what you want to do with them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I love that.
it is,
Um. Yeah. This is so funny. I don't want to give you more labor. Obviously, everyone's always like, "Oh, you should do this for a living." So not necessarily labor, but you sound like. I think we can do this kind of virtually through talks and stuff. You're like an adulthood doula, or like a retirement doula. You know, you're
Okay.
helping shepherd people through, we kind of all have this script. You go to school, you meet someone, you get married, you have children, and that's kind of it. You like
Yeah.
work in the same job, like your life is your work, and these family milestones, but otherwise we're kind of flying solo, and everyone's kind of pretending that they've got it together, but we're all making it up. And I think it's
I,
so you're someone who I think is really
yeah,
great at getting through, so you know
I uh, channeling my Sheba. I have I'm navigating the trail of singlehood.
the betrayal of
The trail of singlehood.
the trail of singlehood. Hmm.
Yes, because all our lives, all our lives, we are told we got to be a duo. There's somebody for you,
Mm-hmm.
they, you know. So all of our lives we do that. But what they don't tell you, the duos don't last. And what happens when the duo breaks up? Whether through divorce, walk away,
Yeah,
death,
death. Yeah.
you know. And so from the time I was 21 till your dad died, we were together.
Wow. So
And
that was
I
what, 50
so much.
years? 21 to
Yes,
68 or
yep, yep,
something?
yep. He was 60. Yeah, I was 60. He died at
He was
74,
died at 74, yeah,
and
so.
I'm 7 years younger than him. So I was 62. All right,
No,
74.
you were like, because you had your 70th
That's right.
birthday party
Before he
in 2019.
right,
Yeah.
and he died in 16,
Yeah.
2016. So I was at 67
Yes.
when he died.
Ah.
And so, but from 21 to 67 is a lot of years. And all those years together.
Wow.
And what I realized, like the travel, all those things, everything is geared for two. I pay as a single what I would pay if two people went.
Right. Right.
Whether it's flights, whether it's hotels, whether it's cruises, and it's like they really get you.
They
And
Yeah.
not only that, trying to find someone to travel with. I think about the Marvelous Cruise Hour.
Oh my god, I can't. We have to have a whole episode just about your like cruise story.
Yes,
So funny.
the worst cruise ever. Yeah,
But it's so true, because I think we're all taught in the society to prioritize romantic relationships,
yeah, yes,
when like it's hard for people to conceive of traveling either by oneself or with a non-romantic partner or companion. Um,
right. I know. So this lady Bobby, we met she was on our Egypt part of the trip. So she was traveling with uh, four of her friends. So there's like five of them that all live in the same area. So Bobby's mother died maybe 3 years ago. Her husband died like 2 years ago. So she's by herself.
mm,
But her friend Sally, they've been friends since junior high school.
wow.
And so she lives in, of all places, a, a town called Boring, Oregon.
Boring. Wow.
Boom. She says there are a lot of borings in Oregon. I said, okay, that's another story.
Okay.
So anyway, but they all seem like on a ranch. They're well-to-do people. But she's traveling with them, and they really look out for her. They really look out for her. And I was thinking, so. But here's an example. Now she's 2 years without her husband. But and she's a lovely person, funny, very nice, but God can be distant. So we go to Egypt. Say, girl, I find another thing to think. So we have to stop somewhere to find her a suitcase because she got so much stuff she can't get it in.
What's she gonna do with all those little tchotchkes?
Wait a minute. And then she buys. Um, we went to a mosaic shop where they show you how they make them.
Make those tiles. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So she gets. She has cats, and so she gets a cat mosaic that glows in the dark.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, then she gets a glass cat. But every time we go through security, they don't know what the hell it is, so they got to stop. You got to search her bag. Nobody. Oh, it's a fish. A fish. Okay, I said okay. You know.
Okay.
You know, and I'm thinking, what appeals to people? And then she bought a carpet. And I asked her, so where'd you put that rug? She said, I put it in my bedroom. I said, okay.
Okay.
The carpet, you know, but if that brings you joy, but I'm just thinking, all I can think is, look at this stuff back.
I know. I think we're told that we're like, when you travel, you get souvenirs. So
Mhm.
people get souvenirs because that's what you do when you travel. But like, I'm always like, wait, why am I wasting the last of my money on a magnet?
Right.
What am I going to do with this?
You know, so I did buy a few things. I bought a
Yes.
bracelet. No,
Oh,
not
go like this. I can't see it. Oh, that's pretty.
yes, yes, but this is from the Bedouin,
Oh.
which is
What
nomadic.
what are the Bedouins?
Okay, Bedouin. Um, you
Oh,
know,
so sorry. My mom was just on a trip. She went to Jordan and Israel and Egypt, including like a little Nile cruise, like Cleopatra. 3 week trip. Hiked all in these tombs.
yeah,
Almost a month. Walked the route that Jesus allegedly walked, and just hoofed it all around that desert.
yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, sorry. So you got this from the Bedouins.
Right. So now Bedouin still live much like they did thousands of years ago.
Hmm.
They're nomads. So, you know, they where the flock goes, that's where they go. And in these mountains we have built you know, you'll see like these like I'll call it a dugout, you know,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
cave. And you know, they many of them still live in those caves.
Mm.
But Petra, which is that you know the I'll show you these that have this uh, gigantic. Oh, okay. Petra is where they filmed Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah.
So that temple
Mm.
is Petra.
Oh.
And when you know with Sean when he was running through and that rock was coming down, okay, you walk through. So it's like from the street down to this thing is like almost 2 miles. So you walk.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're talking about miles that you know, like you're walking on the original.
Wow. So it's like uneven.
Correct,
Wow.
correct. You know, so you can see in places where the chariot still came through. The wheels of
Cool.
the chariot. You know, so it was really a fascinating thing. However, uh, yeah, it's but they live that way. So they say because Petra is such a now big tourist thing,
Right.
they move the Bedouins out of that area to like the other side of the mountain. And they said, oh, they have houses and they have regular houses, electors and all that. Except that, you know, that's what they say.
Yeah. So they just moved the Bedouins out to
Exactly,
the. How did the
exactly.
Bedouins feel about that?
Yeah.
How would they frame that
So
relocation?
I didn't feel bad buying stuff from Bedouins. You know, I
Right.
said,
Yeah.
you know, you trying to live this lifestyle and make the money you can. And
Right.
you know, and Egypt was really sad. I mean, they take everything they can from that country, and they devalue the money again.
Mm.
So when we were in Egypt, it was 30 to 1.
Wow.
You know, and so
I don't get how that works. Like, how is food like so, like whatever your dollar in the US, would buy you nothing, but there it can buy you so much. I like
correct
this all
because
made up
money,
doesn't make
you
any
know,
sense.
which means they have to make more to
Yeah.
get the money. Right.
What? What
So
kind of a deal is that?
I know when they say, you know, they like an Egyptian pound. So anyway, we had to have P money because everywhere you go, if you have to use the restroom, you got to pay.
Mm.
There's
Mm,
always a lady or a guy there, collecting money, and they give you one piece of toilet paper, girl, and single ply.
man.
So yeah, so that was. But you're supposed to give them five. They said give them five Egyptian pounds, 5 pounds. But 5 pounds is equivalent to 13 cents.
Wow.
So you think about how many 5 pounds they got to collect to buy a loaf of bread.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
So
ridiculous.
so um, we in the U.S. have it so good because things we don't even think about, like using a restroom in a restaurant and having to pay.
Yeah.
We would never even go there.
Yeah.
It's a whole different, you know, culture, and it was just
Wow.
eye opening, eye
Super
opening.
interesting thing.
You know,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You have to. We'll have to do like a whole one about like the lessons and wisdom that you got from that trip alone. About the world and ourselves.
yes, yes. Sometimes I think, ooh man, some places that are just National Geographic, you just want a postcard and go.
I know. Yep. I
That
know. I heard Egypt that they're um, some 85% of the women have undergone have had female genital mutilation,
I believe it.
and
They were kind of, they were, that's another thing. They talk very little about how the people actually live.
yeah.
You know, now in Egypt, they have tourist police.
Hmm.
So everywhere you go, there is an armed guard on your bus with your group. A car follows behind you.
Oh my
And I
god.
said, why y'all expecting trouble?
Right.
And he says, no, we want to make sure that there isn't any.
Hmm.
Okay. Then you
Okay.
go to Antoine, which is where the dam is. And what people don't understand is Antoine and go those are military sites. So they are fully guarded because if anything happens to the dam, it floods entire Egypt,
Hmm.
and there's no recovery. So they can't take any chances that somebody won't want to blow up the dam.
Mm.
So and so we don't even think about stuff like that. We think, but a lot of crazy people out there. A lot of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if like the dam is it's like they're guarding this dam that would otherwise flood the thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if the creation of the dam kind of ruined the
Oh,
ecosystem anyway,
oh, it
and
did.
and so now they're trying to protect the right to keep this.
Well, what it did was allow them to control the Nile River 100%. So,
Hmm, hmm.
if you look at the Nile as the longest river in the world, the Nile actually starts in Sudan.
Hmm.
And when it gets to Egypt, that is the end of the Nile.
Wow.
And the Nile then flows into the Mediterranean.
Wow. Huh.
So, if you think about it, it's really Black African control, but nobody ever talks about that piece of it.
Right.
So
Right.
there,
Hmm.
Egypt is on very friendly terms, and so we've
Interesting.
done a lot to
Yeah.
keep relationships good because everybody depends on this one damn river,
Hmm.
and 80% of Egypt is desert. So where do you think 100% of the people live?
Right. Wow.
Yeah, so it was very, very, very interesting.
Super interesting. I love it. Okay, so speaking about the origin of life,
Yes.
of river and water, and I don't know. I'm trying to make a segue into
Okay.
you. So last week I want to say was International Women's Day,
Yeah.
and uh, a lot of the corporations obviously did the slogan like, "Oh, we love women. You guys are so helpful." Blah blah blah. These are some famous women that we. But you actually posted a International Women's Day post that I'm going to uh, read really quick, and Yeah, I'd love to talk about that because I think it's really good. So, Mom had written, um, I want to take a moment to celebrate all the women who go unsung for standing tall, getting it done, never quitting, keeping the faith, standing tall when the world seems against you. You are the real heroines in our lives. You are treasures beyond measure. So, a loud shout out to the women I know who keep it real and make the world better for those around them. She has a list of women, including me, my siblings, my family, my sister in law, a lot of other awesome people. Um, I'm sure I left out a few of my sheroes, but you know you are in my heart. Just know that without you, we couldn't be who and what we are. Your greatness is not unnoticed or unappreciated. Love you all. Please celebrate all the great women in your life. And yeah, I just think that's great. And yeah, so you got 15 comments at least, and yeah, people were loving it. So tell me more about what inspired you to put that in, and yeah, where you were
Well,
at.
I was my rare time watching TV. They were showing this uh, woman who's a Navy captain commanding a warship,
Mm.
and they were talking about a black woman,
Hmm.
you know, and and she rose in the ranks and all this stuff, and they talked, and then they had other women or news. They were another like commanding the band and all this kind of stuff, and all these different activities. And I was thinking, they had these like how what's that Channel 4 News that has the morning show right out in the plaza.
Oh, the Good Morning America or the
Yeah,
View.
yeah,
Yeah.
one of the
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
anyway.
Yeah.
um, so they had all these girls who had traveled there to be there on
Right.
to
Yeah. With
celebrate
signs. Mm-hmm.
International Women's Day, and they talk about how different women have meant so much to them, and how they hold up these women as icons. And I was thinking, uh, I don't know any of those people,
Mm-hmm.
and not. I'm glad for their accomplishments because they do pave the way for a lot of other women. But I think we look at it just too narrowly. There are so many women in our lives that will never know their name.
Mm.
We'll never know all the things that they did to
Yeah.
make you have a chance to do what you wanted to do. And when I look back on my 7 years, my trials and tribulations, and I think of a couple instances, and I've been on both ends of it where women didn't support me, and I thought, and what I realized a lot of times these women are victims of the idea that they can't get ahead if you get ahead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what that taught me was I'm not going to be that way. If I get ahead and I have a chance to help somebody else, girl, more power to you. I
Yes.
want you to be better than me
Yes.
because I don't want to do this work.
Exactly. Absolutely. Please. Please take my job. Please replace me with a robot.
Exactly. So so I think about all of the um, little things, like, hey, you have a great babysitter that raised your kids and toilet trained them for you till they went to school. Hey,
Yeah.
that is a price beyond measure because it allowed me to do what I needed to do on the other end to have the money so you could go to private school, so you could go to the um, sports camp,
Yeah.
so you could experience all these things because I never had a chance to have someone coach me.
Hmm.
I could have been a champion,
I know it. Yeah.
you
Absolutely.
know, but I wanted that opportunity for my kids, not for them to be champions per se, but for them to have the confidence to know I don't care where you are, you've got command of the room. If it's a track, if it's a gym, if it's a audience hall, a performance hall, if it's a boardroom, you know what to do.
Mm.
And if we don't give our kids that, we hold them back. I don't want you to be afraid. And I always think back, nobody never believes this, but I was a horrible wallflower. I wouldn't go
You.
anywhere.
When was this? Wow.
Actually, until I started working,
Wow.
you know, and that was when I met Dad, and he really helped me come out of my shell. But I, you know, was never. I wouldn't talk to people. I couldn't think of anything to say. I would always like, they're not gonna like me and all that kind of stuff. And then once once he taught me, he says, you have to go into these situations like you have all the knowledge.
Hmm.
They come to you, and you have to portray yourself in that manner. And and I, when you were in high school, you'd be all doubtful. I was so obsessed. Where'd I go wrong? Golly, and this girl, all this stuff, and she's self doubts, you know. And that was a real sadness for me because you have so much in you, Sheba. Oh my God, and you're the only one that doesn't see it. And and I realized this is part of the constant negativity that we get. And so, how do you make your kids strong, especially women? How do you give them that backbone to know, hmm, girl, you got this. I don't care what it is. You got this. You can figure out a way. And if plan A doesn't work, you always have a plan B.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I know people say to me, as you know, we only have one car. How do you get these kids all over? I said, I make a plan.
Yeah.
I make a plan. I said, okay, you got to wait till I get here, drop you, pick you, feed you, take you, you know, and pick you back up, and we'll be home at 11 or whatever. So you, everybody has to buy into that there's a plan.
Yeah.
You can't deviate from the plan because there's not a lot of options,
Yep.
especially when we didn't have anybody else to depend on. You go to school, you go to school in Virginia. I work in Virginia. We live in Maryland,
Yeah.
15 miles, 20 miles away. So there's not a lot. Hey, can you run? Can you run over to Virginia and pick up my kids? No.
Yeah.
9/11. 9/11 was a good wake up call. One, we couldn't get out. I didn't know where you were. No cell phones. So
Cell phones were new. I was a freshman in high school, so I don't even think I had a cell phone yet. I think I didn't get one maybe until sophomore year.
yeah,
I,
because Freddie was a senior. You would have
yeah,
been
Freddie was I think a junior.
no, you've been because you were
Because
no,
if
freshman.
it's 2001, yeah, I was a freshman and Freddie was a junior.
No, yeah, was it? Yeah.
I
So
mean, yes, it was September 2000,
yeah,
2001.
yeah.
When the hell was it? I don't even.
It seemed like a year, a long time ago. But in all of that, trying to figure out this happened at 9, 10 in the morning. They close everything. But where are your kids? Nobody could call me. Nobody could tell me. I didn't know it. So it's okay. All right. I didn't get out of the building till 3.
Wow.
So I said, okay.
And yeah, they closed school like right
Exactly.
after.
And
So
they said, and I said, they're going to keep the kids until you get there. Elementary, not high school. So then I said, ooh. So I got Serum, and then I went to Ireton, and everything was closed. And then I finally got a call through, and one of the parents had taken you to their house. And then I couldn't get Dad. Remember?
mm-hmm. Because I don't think he definitely didn't have a cell phone.
No, he didn't. No. And so I said, okay, what would Dad do? I said,
Yeah.
you know what? We're gonna go across here, and I'm gonna stop at this JW Marriott hotel, and to see if he would have stepped in this because he was on 3rd Street. This on 14th. So we pull up 14th, standing on the corner. Dad. I said, ooh, girl.
There you go. You know how that man think.
I know. I do know how he thinks and how we think. we're gonna, and what do? We have a meeting place.
Yeah.
Hey, if anything happens, you get to that spot.
Yeah.
That's where we're gonna be.
I think we do have a natural kind of, when a crisis happens, we're able to be like, okay, like,
Yes.
what is everyone's skill set? I bet we're all going to try to get to a place where we can,
Exactly.
connect.
Exactly. And so learning, intuitively figuring that out was really mind-boggling. But anyway, back to these women. There's always been a woman behind the scenes. My friend Janice, who I love dearly, when we met, girl, it was like, now.
You met her at work at SSA.
Oh, yes. She was an exec officer. She was trying to convince me to come up there, and I said, "No, I don't want to do that. We need you, girl. No, you don't. I do not want to be up there. I don't want to, So anyway, they forced me to go up there. I was evil. I was so mad. I was so mad. But she did not respond to my snarkiness. She lifted me up. She said, Agnes, you can do this. I said, it's not a matter of I can do it. It's just I didn't want to do it. She says, I know, but you got to do it. So anyway, but we've been friends now for like 20 years.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And the little things she has done, she got you a job at SSA.
Yeah.
Ever, and here was another example. They think they say that we have equal opportunity until the opportunity comes and you realize it's not equal. Because no matter how skilled and how competent, you have two things against you, a black and a female. That has not changed in the last 100 years. And yet, as Maya Angelou's, still I rise. So I think about those women who come from very disparate circumstances, and this is why I get angry with women that give in.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't try to do better. My job as a mother is to make my children's lives better if I can. And that doesn't mean doing everything for them, but it does mean giving them the tools so that they can do for themselves. So I look at all the women in my life that I didn't even know were there, holding me up, pushing me forward, giving me confidence, 1,000 times. And even think about it because it gets jumbled up in your day-to-day living. And so when I was thinking back on this, oh my goodness, I think about Miss Britton.
Yeah.
Now,
so
you were 4 years old when I met her.
Really?
Yeah. 4 years old.
We met her then in what, church or in Girl Scouts?
Girl Scouts.
No.
And I was exercising, right? She was down there. She says, "Look, since you're here, why don't you?" Girl, I don't want to do. Yes, you do. So and she was really a force in getting me to do things differently and to put myself in a different setting and Girl Scout, But look at the wonderful opportunities that you all have. Besides, who can have a spa? Who can eat around the world?
Yeah.
And listen, I will never eat Afghan food again.
Had enough hummus for the rest of your life?
Oh, girl. That Nigerian food, that injera, oh, God, that was the worst stuff ever.
I know. I still don't like Ethiopian food. I wish, my name is Sheba, I wish I really liked it, but I just...
Nope. But how would you know that? If we didn't go and eat.
Absolutely. I had a lot of experiences because of it.
Yes. And for Black kids especially, we have to expand their horizons. We have to give them a lot of different things to do because the world is big.
Yeah.
And if all you only know is your neighborhood or your school or your,
Yeah.
I mean, when you went to Goucher and you had to go to Puerto
Rico. Mm-hmm.
I said, but look at the learning. Besides, you picked us some really good restaurants.
Exactly. Absolutely.
If
I
you
learned
can't
so
speak any other
much.
Spanish, you know the menu.
Exactly. Yup. I'm excited. I want to go back to Puerto Rico again. It's
Yeah,
been coming on my radar, and I'm like, you know
yeah,
what? I do love Puerto Rico, and man, it's so nice to. You're so right. Those experiences are. It really. You don't see it then, but it helps you when you're older, when you're an adult. You
yes,
know already that there are lots of ways to be successful and live your life and do things
exactly.
and navigate through the world. And it's actually not just you got to stay in your neighborhood and do what your family tells you to and do what you were like. No.
No. And you know what? And there's nothing wrong with trying things and coming to the realization, hey, this is not for me.
Yeah, tried it, don't like it.
Don't like it. Right. I'm
And
not gonna do that.
just
Like
because,
like taking a mule up to a mountain and
oh,
chuck
girl,
arrows.
girl, never. I mean, it's even like, you were talking about Janice, you remind me of me in work. Janice was like, come on, you can do it. You can be in this executive suite where, and I bet I would be like, I don't want to work at those suits. Those
Yeah,
like lame people posing as like, oh, I have an important job. Man, they're not doing anything. And, having someone who's like, you can do it. You just don't want to. And,
yeah,
the one thing I would, there's this idea that you have to. You
yeah,
do have to if you want to go that route. But you
yes,
also kind of don't have to.
yep,
But it's good to know that, like, you can do a hard thing that you don't want to do. You can still do it.
exactly. And one thing it did, like ever since I worked, I always wanted to get up to the executive level. And that's always. Then I had kids, and I realized, no, I got to go home.
Mm.
I don't want to be here till 9, 10 o'clock at night on this nonsense. And I realized one thing: I don't take things serious enough for these people.
They want you to be so invested
I
in,
know.
like, their
Yeah.
mission.
And you know what? And when I realized they're not invested in me, I'm not going to be invested in them.
Yeah.
You pay me for a job, that's what you get. But at the end of 8 hours, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And we need to, and I think that's what corporate America is dealing with now since COVID, because all these people are realizing, you know what? They need me more than I need them.
Yep. Yep.
And I want people to feel the freedom. I see who is going for a 4-day work week. Is that
I think Finland did it, and it was a successful
yeah,
test. And
yeah,
I think they need to introduce it here because what's the point of years of making work more efficient and faster if we're all going to still be working the same amount?
yep,
If there's still all the same problems,
yep,
what's the point?
yep. And what they realize, they don't want to admit it, but people are more productive when you don't have chains on them. Hey,
Yes.
I don't need to see your face every day. You give me a piece of paper.
Yes. I'm actually going to work less hard if someone's like looking over my shoulder about it.
Hmm.
So,
And it's like, and it's we're dealing with 21st century problems with 19th century tools.
yeah. And one
And
of those tools was you just kind of shame
yeah,
people into
uh-huh,
doing it the old way. But people are like, no, actually, you don't keep on my lights.
no,
Why would I respond to that shame, And
mhm,
so, yeah, we're all having to learn these new tools to deal with this new world.
yes, yes,
Mm,
exactly. I was seeing that the military is really struggling with getting enough people,
I bet.
and so now they have like kind of a pre-military military, because what they realize is most of the uh, pool, they are not physically able to do normal stuff. They're too fat. They're too not lazy. They're just not. Uh, you spend all day in front of a video screen. You don't know how to run.
I
You
mean,
don't know how to carry.
when we reserve athletics
Yeah,
for people like getting increasingly elite, you're not
yes,
going to want to just run for pleasure.
exactly.
Like
Exactly.
we've trained out of people the idea of moving your body just because that's a joy of being alive,
Yes.
and then we realize like, oh, okay, like if we're still going to do conflict resolution this way with like a military like fighting, you're going to need different people.
Yes. And you're going to have to convince people uh, that they have a stake in this. Because, this is what the flag and this patriotism and all that. Patriotism has become a word, not an action.
A slogan
And
again.
so now youngsters, I
Kids
won't
are
say
smart.
probably,
We're increasingly smart. We recognize that our words are supposed to align with our actions. And we see all of these words that are supposed to mean something that actually are just used to kind of excuse bad behavior, you know?
Mhm.
Patriotism is a very specific thing. It's not making sure everyone in your country has food or a house. It's murdering other people who don't agree with the government or something. It's like,
Mhm.
I don't know about that. And we see how you treated the patriots of the Vietnam War. We see how you treated the patriots fighting in these different things. Like,
We've been in Afghanistan 20 years, and what do we have to show for it? A lot
mm,
of mangled bodies, a whole generation of disabled people
yes, yeah,
that
whole,
we will take care of for the rest of their lives.
yeah,
And, there should be more to say. There should
yeah.
be, well, that's another
I
story.
feel like what we mostly learned from it is to be like mad at like Afghans. Like they ruined it. Like they probably saw us as invaders
Exactly.
ruining their lives.
Yep. Yep.
And it's like, oof, we're so
Yep.
confused. So I'm not surprised that the government is struggling now to, sell us this story that we just know it's not true.
Yep. So anyway, it's
Anyway,
really back to my women. So I
yes.
want to shout out again to all of us to encourage you to say a thank you, give a hug, give a call
Yeah.
to someone in your life that you might not think is there for you, that is there.
Yeah.
Let's try to be, that's our solidarity.
Exactly.
You
Oh
know,
my gosh, totally. One thing when dad died, it really helped me like be like, "Oh, people can go at any moment." And why do we have unsung heroes? Why do we wait until someone's funeral to let them know how much they meant to us, for us to process how much they mean? And
yes,
I've been trying to, when someone crosses my mind or I think about like, wow, you know what, that person had actually a big place in my life. Let me
right,
reach out. I
exactly.
do, and the person really appreciates it. I
Yes,
think we're told, and it's so funny. I'm gonna be talking about this next week, but we're told this. We know the slogan is "Be kind to everyone, reach out to your strong friends." Nobody does that though. I
yep,
find that I'm the only one who tries to do that, and when I do, people are like, "What? That's weird," and like, I don't know. No one's coming to save us. So
no,
like we kind of have to do all this stuff if it's ever going to be more than just a slogan.
right. And this is what I mean about giving during Lent.
Mm,
Give of yourself.
hmm. Yeah, I
I'm gonna
love
call
that.
Billy's mom when I finish talking to you.
I love that. I think she will really appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so
And
funny.
yeah,
And
because
speak
life gets in the way. Life gets in the
exactly.
way. And
And yeah, and we create our own narratives. We're like, oh, they don't want to
yeah,
hear from me. They probably had a long day. It's blah blah blah.
yeah,
Bother them. Oh, that was the thing. I think we think of. I was talking to someone and they were like, I was gonna compliment this person on their look, but I didn't want them to like think I was weird or whatnot. How many times do we all act as a dam? We
yep,
have these positive assessments of people and we act as a dam and we,
yep,
we don't want it to overflow and overwhelm or inconvenience that person. So we keep it up. What if they needed it? What if we were the pipeline
exactly,
for
exactly,
truth for them and we were like, hey, you brighten my day. I love
exactly,
your vibe.
exactly.
That and so many times when people tell me their positive thoughts about me, I'm like, oh, wow, thank you.
Yeah,
I was kind of in my head that I looked weird, and so it's awesome to hear someone actually say like, no, I love what you're doing, you
yep,
know?
yep, yep.
Mm.
When I get up at my purple hair,
Ugh,
girl, it is a conversation starter.
it is. It gives life.
like, like I say, I went through security and where was it in Jordan, we had to go through like three security lines, and they have a line for women and line for men. So I go through, and then the lady calls me over, and I go over, and she, pats me down, and then there's two ladies at the sitting at the table, and they check your passport, and blah, blah, blah. And so they're talking to each other, but only the lady patting me down speaks English. The
Mm-hmm.
others don't. And so they're looking at me and talking to her, and she says, "Oh, they like your hair." I said, "Yeah." Now let me see your hair, because they had on the whole thing.
Yeah.
So she pulls it. It was kind of gray.
Ah!
So I say we are all the same underneath all of these costumes that they wear.
Yes.
And so,
Costumes. Yes.
and it's the thousands of comments that I get from people. But I wish I could. I wish you could. But you're right. You're your only dam.
What the
You
hell's
know.
stopping you?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
And I said, if I didn't like it, I'd change it to another color. It did. And listen, this has come overnight.
I know. I know. I remember your journey. I love it. And like you like went through a whole journey of different colors and styles, and that you were like, purple I think is my look. And absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. You're so right. We're all the same. And I think you're so powerful. I can't believe how lucky I am to come from a person like you. Because yeah, look at you. No matter where you go, like women see themselves in you, and they start to recognize that, oh, this is all a costume and a performance that we've
Mhm.
agreed to play. But for who? For these dudes who
Yeah.
are not gonna like, give us the grace that we show them. And like when they see you, they like, they want to be like, I get it.
Yep. Yep.
And that's really awesome.
And I think I do nowadays. I do a lot more demanding. You know, so we went on the bus. Hey, help me off this bus.
Yes.
And not that they wouldn't. They're doing. Oh, so we got on a plane, and so in these countries, fun fact, you could only check one bag,
Hmm.
and then your other bag has to be carried.
Mm.
So I'm not used to
Yeah.
having my bags being carried, so I take the smaller bag, which is heavy. So I get on the plane, and I look and I say, "No one had to put the bag up here." So a guy in the next row stands up and says, "Here, let me put it up there." Good.
Exactly. What are you doing here, sir?
Yeah.
Just a pretty face? So funny. I love it. And I'm sure like you're such a giver anyway. And so it's so awesome that like for Lent, you're trying to like be even more intentional about that. I know as a giver, it's hard sometimes to receive and even to demand, like,
Yes.
take care of my needs, get my bag. And I'm not even going to be that like polite about it. Just like, get it,
You're supposed to do that.
or get out of the way,
Yeah.
and let the person who will take my bag take it.
Yeah. Because can't nobody get past me till you put this bag up here.
Absolutely. So you go to hem and haw about who's going to do it, or are you going to do it?
Yeah. No, I wasn't gonna do it. Not in my, I had
Your arm. Mm-hmm.
left arm anyway. But I'm sure there's no way I can get that bag up there.
Yep.
I don't even know how I'm gonna get there. And so when we flying back, we were in business class, and so of course you got like the overhead bin. I couldn't even get my stuff there, so the guy next to me said, "Did you put that stuff up there?" I said, "Sure." So he puts all the stuff there. When he's laying, puts all my stuff down.
There you go.
Hey, all good.
And
I think
oh, go ahead.
give people a chance to be of service to you.
Yes. Yes. I saw that actually a way to endear yourselves to others, to build rapport. Ask them a favor. Ask them for advice. People
Mhm.
love to be helpful, actually. People
They
really
do.
like when someone sees, like, you seem like someone who knows how to do something.
Yep.
Give me your wisdom. And they love the opportunity to help.
Yes. Oh, that is absolutely true. That is absolutely true.
Hmm.
It's all good.
Well, I love. Okay, so Billy's been so amazing with this whole show and all these shows. He like puts all these different bells and whistles and things. Okay, so and I have this like crystal ball, and it's like visions for the future. And so I want to. Oh, dang. Okay, I can't see you. Okay, I get it. All right, cool. So we're gonna do it slightly differently. I'm gonna go back to this collab. And we're all going to envision with our mind that there's a crystal ball at the center of the screen or whatnot. And I would love if you could, give some predictions for, I think you've given some great advice throughout this whole thing. But this idea of kind of giving people their flowers, particularly women, the unsung heroes, sing them. Why would we want them to feel like what they provide and give is not worthy of note? And particularly like the women in our lives, how much they do and how we act as a dam. And yeah, so I don't know. Do you have any like visions for the future? Any, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What I would like for women is for them to feel good about the choices that they make and it not be an either or.
Hmm.
I can be a mother or I can be executive. I
Hmm.
can be this or I can be that. I can do this or I can do that. And instead of saying, how do I mesh these parts into a whole and not feel guilty about it?
Yeah.
And whatever you choose, know it's right for you. So we
Mm.
have to do more self introspection.
Hmm.
And, sometimes I think we need to go into a dark room and say, how do I bring light into this room? This room is me. How do I bring light in here?
Hmm.
And we don't do enough because I got this to do. I got this kid. I got to do. I picked blah, 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 blah. I'm all over the place. Take a few minutes. And this is why we're talking about prayer. You know, I was saying I didn't really know how to pray,
Hmm.
but I have conversations with God every day,
Hmm.
all day.
Yeah.
And I'm doing more mindfully. And I pray for the world. I pray for my family. I pray for my kids to have what they need in life. I pray for them to be safe. I mean, that's my biggest and and I would, if I would envision something, it would be more safe spaces for women to be themselves, whatever that self is. Not go from being a daughter to a wife to a mother. There are intervening steps in here, and if you want to skip a step, okay, but make it mindful decisions. Like I don't know, I won't get into abortion. If you're going to have children, make it mindful because you're making a statement saying, okay, I'm going to put myself second so I can put this person first.
Hmm.
And what does that mean? Don't make it, I have this kid because this guy said I was pretty and I'm lonely, or this guy needs a place to stay and I got a job.
Yeah. Yeah. But it makes sense. Like if you skipped the step. So one of the things I love that you always kind of instilled in me was like, you don't want to go right from being someone's daughter to someone's wife to someone's mother because you never have a chance to figure out who you are, who
Right,
yourself is. And so
right,
how are you really, if you have a child, like go right from being someone's daughter to someone's mother, how are you going to know how to put someone else before yourself if you don't even know
right,
who yourself is? What
right.
if you've then attached yourself to this idea of this other person and so it just gets all jumbled?
Yes.
And
No, absolutely. So I would hope for that for women, and I think there's so many doors opening for women in corporations, and but I want there not to be a first. It should be a norm.
yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
There's no job on this planet that a woman can't do and do
Exactly.
well.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, when men can have children, they can make that claim, but they can't make that
They're not
claim.
even doing the important work. That's
Not
the
at all.
Girl, I
No,
can't believe I'm impressed that they have convinced everyone that they have built everything and thus deserve all of the they're terrible at everything. All of the systems we have kind of criticized today, a dude.
yeah,
And is made worse because dudes excluded women from the discussion of how to make it better, how to,
yeah. And they
girl,
continue there,
I know. It's
but I fault women for allowing it.
hmm, it's true. We
We
believed
raised
that
men.
we
We
were
raised men.
hmm
We
yeah.
bear them and we raise them. We need to start kicking ass. And then until we can accept that role, that you're not going to define me, I define me. And
Yep.
this system, the society is not going to define me because
Yep.
we're going to define that society.
I
And
love
so
that.
we have to have like a 10 million women march.
Yes. Hmm.
Tear down these stereotypes. Get rid of these old ass people in Congress. You know, why is an 80-year-old white man telling me I can't have a baby
Girl,
or I have to have a baby?
exactly.
You
Like,
know,
who asked you,
yeah,
sir?
exactly. And you know what? I'll tell you, okay, fine. If we can't have an abortion, then let's drop off every unwanted kid to a congressman's office. That's what we do.
Yeah, you want
What
kids
we
so
do.
much?
Yeah. I mean, all these people talking about, they want women to have kids, but how come you don't adopt none of them?
Yeah.
How come there are all these kids in foster care?
Yeah. I know that, like, when someone doesn't want to do something, they do a bad job. So
They
why on
do.
earth would I want to saddle a bunch of people who don't want to do something with the important ass job of parenthood?
Yep. Yep.
And then act all like, oh, why is there so much crime? Why is everyone depressed? Why is everyone confused? Like, well, we started out kind of like just do it because you have to.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
man, hmm.
Because I tell you, I want to meet the woman that says she want to have 10 kids. I want to really meet her.
Girl,
I want to meet her. Because,
like,
I got to think, we can't be that good.
yeah. Oh, I bet not. I think it's also very like selfish because it's not like they are like relishing in, the important job of raising a child from, 0 to 18. They are letting baby number one
Correct. They
be
can't
a
work.
co-parent to baby number
Exactly.
10. Like that's
Yep.
not why you create
Yep.
humans to
Yep.
be your unpaid
You
labor
know,
force.
at a time before they had a lot of kids because they needed workers on the damn farm. Well, we don't have that society now. And you have all these children that, hey, they tell you they're not going to support. And wait a minute, I didn't have that. It was like one of my pet peeves is like, man, I work hard. We send all our kids to private school, but I get taxed for public school. And listen, all my money go there, and they still dumb.
Exactly. I still don't have a say in what they're taught. What in the
Yep,
hell?
exactly. But we're gonna take the books away.
Girl.
Lord knows if you ignore history, it didn't happen.
Which I think it's so great that we all have such access to wisdom if we want it. So
Right.
now we know when they ban a book, okay, that means we need to get up online and go figure out what information they are trying to not let you have access to because there's probably some important stuff in it.
Oh, absolutely. It cracks me up. They talk about because they don't want white people to feel bad. No, but you don't care about black people feeling bad.
Yeah, exactly. And like
You know
yeah, there are worse things than like people feeling bad. They
exactly.
always tell us when they're trying to be mean to us, like, oh, your feelings, like we have to care about your feelings. Like, I mean,
No, you
you
do
don't,
not.
but I certainly
No.
don't have to care about yours then.
Yes. Yes.
Girl.
So
Oh,
anyway, I don't know.
so I love that. I think that's so true. I think, yeah, really, understand. Like you had mentioned Maya Angelou earlier. I've got my little, I have these diamonds on my thigh, and it means one thing from Still I Rise, but it
Yeah.
also like you always say, about me. My mom's like, I created a diamond. All you have to do is shine, and I love the idea of being this valuable, multifaceted, complex being that doesn't even, like all I have to do is just be and I'm valuable. And it's not like I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be comprehensible or, marketable to other people. Like, I am valuable inherently. And like, if more women, understood, we are awesome, not just because we're able to perform what other people want us to be. Well, we're awesome because of our humanness, because of our, ability to transform, because of our ability to create and destroy. And so I love, I think that's great. I love it. You are a very wise person. I am so lucky. We're all so lucky to have gotten this wisdom from you. And this was fun. Thank you so much for sharing everything, Mommy.
I enjoyed our conversation, as I always do.
Me too. We have
But I
to.
want you to know, I love how you step outside the box.
Thank you.
And my crystal ballish kind of thing. We need women of strength and women of daring.
Mm.
You know that it's easy to go along to get along. It's easy to fall into whatever the role is. I don't know if you ever notice these people, they've been married 40 years and they get divorced after the kids go. No, girl.
I know, you waited too long. Like,
Exactly. And now, like, talk about my widow's club. You know, it's very interesting when you listen to their stories, and of course, they tell you all the great stuff. But marriage is a lot of work, and it's not something I think I would do again.
Hmm.
I'm a different person now.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna have to do for me.
Yeah, you certainly wouldn't marry someone like Dad in his flaws,
No, right.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's right. But I need something different now.
Yeah. Yeah. You're different. The world is different. You have different needs and wants.
Exactly.
So your partner's going to be different.
Exactly. And and I think women need to, I was thinking maybe we should have like like they do in a pros. You got a 10-year contract. We can renegotiate it these times.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
You worth $20 million at this time. I said, okay, wait a minute, I need a raise.
Yes, exactly. A companionship contract where it's like a renegotiable every, like, I would say 2 years. Because, things move faster now. So
never even talk about
that.
With the person that I seen them naked. Come on.
Right.
Say, whatever we need to say without fear of rocking a boat, without fear of reprisal, without fear you're gonna be sulking, hey, sometimes I just want to be mad. Leave me alone and let me be mad and my mad.
Yeah, totally.
I get over it.
Yes.
But sometimes I just need to be mad.
Just need to feel the emotion.
Yeah.
And especially with anger, and I think with women, we're taught that we're allowed to express kind of all the other emotions, but anger, we need to like stuff inside and feel bad and ashamed about.
Yeah, no. I can be annoyed. No. You're not gonna tell me how to feel.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you. I try to be a daring person. I think you are a very daring person, and I love that you keep discovering new heights to you.
Yes. Yes, I know. I'll tell you, sometimes I wonder about myself. Since they got me to go to Iceland. Damn.
I know. So you're going to Iceland now?
Yeah.
I love it. What?
It's our widow's cruise.
Oh, I love.
One of the Dominique lives in Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm. I saw you were going to Amsterdam first. I didn't know if you were going to Amsterdam or Iceland. Sounds like both.
No. Yeah, so one in Amsterdam and spending a few days with her in her house. She's we're all there,
wow.
and then we're all going to because the ship leaves from Amsterdam.
Gotcha.
Then we're going to go take the USS Rotterdam, and we're going to take that to Iceland and
wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
You're amazing, Mama. You are living all of our best lives. You're such an inspiration. I love you so much. You give me so much life in all the ways, and we're lucky to have you. I'm going to interview you many more times because
Yeah.
you are just such a wealth of wisdom and joy, and it's such a freaking pleasure. I can't believe like we've already been talking for an hour and 15. It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Okay.
I could go much
Yeah.
longer, but yeah, let's give these people their Sunday back. Um,
Okay, baby.
all right, y'all. Everything is made up. We love you. Oh, I try to end every episode. I tell people to put their phone or their forehead up to their screen, whatever they're watching this on, and then I give them a forehead kiss and I tell them that I love them. So please put your foot. Mwah. I love you so much, Mama. You're amazing.
I love you.
All right, love you, everyone. Everything is made up. I'm gonna play you out with this music, and I'll see you tomorrow for How Billy Sees It. It's gonna be a really good one. I love you so much, Mama. Thank you for your wisdom, and I'll talk to you very soon. Okay?
Okay, baby. Love you.
Love
Bye-bye.
ya. Bye. Hold on. Oh, we can do more of these mama talks. Awesome. Yay. Love you. Bye.